decided to get a prostitute. Well, you don't want to go to jail for soliciting prostitution, so how do you make sure the prostitute isn't a police officer? Well, I'm going to help you out. When you find the prostitute that you like, you get her in the car with you or whatever private area you guys are in, quite simply, ask her to show you her breasts. I know that may seem silly, but there's a reason for it. If the prostitute is a police officer, she won't show your breasts for a couple reasons. First reason is police officers obviously have to follow the law, or they're supposed to. Not just that, they have to follow by moral codes. There's a lot of things not necessarily written in the law that they just can't do, like showing a pedestrian or a standard citizen their breast. Not just that, a female officer is just not going to show you her breast. She's not going to do that. Now, say she is an actual prostitute. At first she's going to be like, if you say, oh, show me your breast, she's going to be a little taken aback, and then she's going to ask you why. Simply tell her, I want to make sure you're not a police officer. Once she hears you say that, she'll also be happy, because just as much as you don't want to get arrested for prostitution, neither does she. She wants to make her money, for whatever reason, go along her way. So when you ask her to see your breast, that shows her that you're as well not a police officer, a male police officer, you know, in some sting operation, because for the same reason a female police officer can't show you your breast, a male officer can't solicit such activity, again, for moral conduct reasons. Also, I wanted to give you guys other tips. So how you can know whether a prostitute is a police officer or not. One of the main things is a police officer has to make sure that a transaction goes through. She has to make sure you are actually soliciting prostitution. So an actual police officer will always try to get the money up front. She'll always make the money a big deal. Oh, do you have the money on you? You know, she'll ask you what kind of sexual favors you want, and then she'll say, oh, you have the money on you. She'll keep asking about the money. Where's the money? Where's the money? Do you have the money? Then you'll notice an actual police officer will make more big of a deal about the money, whereas a real prostitute won't, because she doesn't want to lose you as a customer. She wants to. She's a regular human being, not a police officer, so she's going to want to talk, have a conversation with you, maybe a little bit, and then obviously ask what kind of sexual favors you want, so on and so forth. So just certain things to watch out for. And also, I want it to be known that I'm not saying that you should get a prostitute, but people do anyways. And if you are, be careful. Just think to yourself that this prostitute, that's her job. That's what she does for a living, is have sex for money. That's what she does. So you have to think to yourself that not only does she have sex, she probably has sex a lot with a lot of different people. So the chances of her having some kind of sexual disease or sexually transmitted disease is very high. I'm not saying she will, but it's very high. So I just encourage everybody to use protection for your safety, for her safety, and otherwise, just be careful.